You want to take better drone videos. One of the key things is actually the rules with drone videography are the same with any other videography. You need to think about your composition, you need to think about your framing, and you need to think about what you're taking a video of. You could be the best drone pilot in the world, but if you're taking a video of an empty field, it may not look that interesting. But one of the best things about drones is the movement that it allows. If we are a cameraman on the ground taking video, there's only so far, so fast, so high we can move the camera. But with a drone we have absolute freedom to be able to go almost anywhere that we want to, so long as you stick within all the rules where you are about how you can use your drone. One of the best ways to be able to get amazing, epic, cinematic drone footage is to use 3 axes of movement. So actually use as many axes of movement as you have access to. So if you can create a shot that is both moving from side to side, I say both, I mean, what's the word for 3? Anyway, if you can get a shot that combines moving from side to side, moving up, down, rotating the lens, and maybe also panning, if you can get 3 of those in it, it will look a fantastic shot. So if you can get one that's coming around and across and it's panning all at the same time, it will look absolutely stunning because you get this real sense of movement, this real 3D concept of moving through space. So use your movement, learn how to use the controller, learn how to use all the different motions. And actually sometimes it's easier to focus on the drone itself. So actually when you're using it, look at the drone rather than looking at your screen, because it'll help you actually think about the movement and think about where you're going to be moving to be able to get the shot. Look at the framing. Do you need to be closer? Do you need to be higher? Do you need to be further away? Do you want to be able to actually get the horizon in? I would say that in almost every case, if you have your horizon in shot, it will tend to be a better image if you're pointing up even slightly. Obviously, if you're pointing straight down, it's very difficult to get. There's so many helicopters going around today, it's actually getting a little bit frustrating. Not drones. Think about the composition and the framing of your shot. Do you have the horizon in it? I would say that as soon as you're above a 45-degree angle of shooting, actually having the horizon will help a lot because it just helps ground the image. I don't know what it is, but for some reason it can just often look a bit off kilter if you can't see the horizon. Obviously, if you're filming straight down, you're not going to be able to see the horizon, but as soon as you're actually pointing up even slightly, I'd say have the horizon in it. One of the first videos that I took was a really nice pan around a lake, and I looked back at it, and had I just been pointed up slightly higher, it would have been a much more interesting shot. So think about your composition, think about where you are. Do you need to be closer to the subject? Do you need to be further away? Do you need to be higher up? Do you need to be lower down? And think about your rate of movement. In a lot of cases, actually, people know that the drones can go incredibly quickly. The new Mavic 2 can go up to 75 kilometers an hour, I think. Do you need to use that full speed? Is every shot going to look best taken going as fast as you possibly can? Learn to be gentle with your drone. Learn to actually fly it slowly and learn to fly it well so you can get amazing shots through relatively tight spaces to be able to get that truly epic image. And finally, just a little bit about sort of shutter speed and cinematic motion and 180-degree shutter rule. We talked in an earlier film about this idea that you want to actually get a little bit of motion in your videos to be able to actually make things look natural. And this applies with drones as well. If you're flying a drone on a sunny day, which most of us will tend to want to go out when it's really nice, if you're using that without any sort of filter, it's not going to look quite as smooth as it would if you put a filter over it to be able to get that cinematic motion blur, so using that 180-degree shutter speed rule. There is a whole video, in fact I made a very long video about it that should be here. I think it's here. It might be here. I'm going to check that for the next video that I do. But there's a video on exactly that, a very long and in-depth video on cinematic motion blur, but I also talked about it briefly in the shooting video for photographers video. The link will be up above on one of the sides. So I hope that's been useful in terms of helping you take better video with your drone. And remember, a lot of it is just, it follows the same rules as everything we've talked about in this series so far. So if you haven't watched those videos, you can go back and watch them, and they will give you more information about composition and about all the elements to help you take better videos, better photos, and generally create more impressive images. Like I say, I hope this has been useful, and remember to subscribe and let me know in the comments below if there's anything else you'd like help or advice on. Thank you very much.